what you can conclude and what you cannot conclude. So did you select an appropriate test, and did you make appropriate conclusions using this test? That's not something we're going to delve into in this course, but be aware that you could, of course, make mistakes or apply certain tricks, which is called fraud, uh, during the statistical analysis as well. Then you go on and you have your statistical analysis, you start drawing conclusions. First, we draw conclusions about the observations we have made. And this is, for example, about causality. So internal validity, taking into account how this study went. I, for example, wanted to know if babies stop crying when they are in a warm environment, for example. And I tested this in a lab. And I found that indeed this is true. And I tested it with an experiment that I applied proper random sampling. And I also have a large enough sample. So I'm quite confident that I can draw this conclusion for the babies in my study. However, then we have external validity. And all of the previous sort of types of validity sort of affect external validity. So if you have low sampling validity, you also have low external validity. Because, for example, if the babies in your study are sampled in the hospital, you found them in the hospital, and they have health problems, then this is not, you'd have low sampling validity, but you have low external validity because you can't draw conclusions about babies in general. You also need to think about whether what you did in your study is what is representative for what happens in the outside world. So if you have a survey and you want to know if people trust social media, and you started with a lot of questions about potential problems, so you sort of triggered people to think about potential problems with social media,